Hello Scorpio, this is your extended reading. So this extended here is showing me that whatever was your goal that you wanted to achieve, that you were heading towards it with full force, and the sudden stop that you had to make to readjust the team, right? To readjust your staff, perhaps, or maybe just the group of people that were around you and that are around you, to remove somebody, or accept the removal, that somebody made the decision to just leave because it wasn't fulfilling to them, it wasn't enough for them, to pursue your own goals instead of their own goals. Or it's essentially the absence of this person that feels like somebody that you care deeply for, and it was reciprocal. Suddenly that was not enough to proceed going in the same direction. At least I don't feel like this was a decision of yours. Perhaps you just accepted when they decided to leave, right? Because you felt like maybe they were creating a heaviness, or they were just not being as helpful as you wished in the beginning when they joined the team. And so when you go back to your movement, Scorpio, heading towards that dream of yours, that goal of yours, in that ship, it's almost like you were being slowed down by the presence of this one, the Page of Cups, that decided to leave because they had, their own goals, or, their heart was pointing in a different direction that was not colliding with yours anymore. So although that was a bittersweet moment for both of you, I want to say, it's like you were more focused in just getting back to the movement, getting back to the full speed that you wanted to travel, right? To reach this Ace of Wands exciting goal of yours. And so here in the extended, because we're beginning with the Four of Pentacles, this card came through as a port, right? So it blends well with the image of the ship that I was seeing coming from the first card in the first part, the Six of Swords. So if you were, out in the ocean, exploring this watery landscape, and you were heading towards something that you knew was calling for you, right? And when you received again the green light to proceed, it's like you didn't have any doubt to let that person go so that you could go back to where you left off. And when you arrive in this place, right, when you land, because this is what this card came through, this word lending, there is this lending that is occurring. And I feel like you land, up again on the shore. But when you, it's like okay, so when you set out to go on this journey, you had this very clear objective in mind, right? It's like it was your motivation. You knew that you wanted to get to this thing, right? And so when you arrive, what appears to be your destination, your landing point, you face this Page of Wands, which resembles a lot the Ace of Wands that was what you were after. So when you get to this port, when you get to this landing spot, I feel like what you expect when you see this Page of Wands is that not only they fulfill what you were wanting, your desires and wishes, but also that they fulfill, in a sense, this absence from the Page of Cups that we saw that left in the first part. So it's almost like you want to join the two things that you were aiming for, right, in the beginning when you set out to go on this journey. And when you see that you find what you were looking at, what you were looking after, it's like you put all of your expectation into this thing, into this, maybe a person, right? Maybe a person that you assume could fulfill the absence of this one, that could replace this one. But that's the thing about your reading here in the extended Scorpio. I feel like when you chose to pursue that dream of yours, right, that Ace of Wands that was calling for you, that was so exciting for you, and you let go of this relationship that felt bittersweet, but in your mind you were just focusing on getting back on track, getting back on this fast-paced movement, right, to achieve whatever you set out to achieve. And maybe that's because, you know, you feel like it was their decision to leave. It's like you invited them in, and so when they decide to leave, it's like there's nothing else that you can do. They seem pretty much, you know, very decided about that. So when you land finally after, you know, a long trip, and I want to say it's like you really were able to keep up with this fast pace, right? Even though you had that moment of pause, right, where you had to deal with the Page of Cups, and decide however you were going to proceed. It's like you were able to keep up with the movement and just make up for this time lost, in a sense. And when you land there, it's like the expectation that you have is that you were going to be able to share this with maybe just the memory of this one. It's like, it's not the memory of this one necessarily, but it's like you wanted to share your victory, your accomplishment with somebody that you care deeply for. And it's like you put all of your expectation onto this character, this Page of Wands, which seems to be the blending, the perfect blending of what you wanted and the person who can fulfill that gap that was left on this journey right there. But with the Two of Pentacles coming next, I don't feel like they are this person. I don't feel like they are willing to do so. Or maybe this is not even a person, right? Because it feels that you are heading towards something that is extremely abundant, extremely lucrative, extremely enriching. It's like you go from, you know, earning, you know, X amount, and then you go to 2X and then 3X, and then it's like it is exponentially building and growing, I feel like. So, but it starts here, and I feel like the moment that you arrive where you were planning to go, where you were planning to, what you were planning to achieve, I feel like there is this maybe unconscious part of you that wants company, wants somebody to share, right? And because this person is no longer there, right? They left the boat, they left the ship because their purpose was another purpose. I feel like it's like maybe your decision is to be practical enough to keep on going your own way, even though there is nobody there with you, right? It's like, it's interesting because I feel like you are very headstrong about where you want to go, what you want to achieve, and how fast you want to get there. But I feel like you're not realizing that the moment that you do achieve, that you're going to be on your own, right? Even though your expectation is that you have somebody to fulfill that gap. And so with the Nine of Pentacles coming next, not only, you know, because here we have 2 footprints, here we have 4 footprints, right? So 2 people and 1 person, and this is you, Scorpio. So when you arrive and you expect somebody to be there beside you and they appear to be, right? You're assuming that this is going to be the one that, you know, or maybe the achievement of your Ace of Wands, right? Through the Page of Wands, through assuming that this is your conquest, that this is your goal being reached, right? It's like you assume that this is going to keep you company, but it's not, right? It's like, especially because of the Nine of Pentacles, it's coming through as a very independent being, right? A person that is, and I want to say like single, right? Because if we saw so much love, right, but that bittersweet separation in a sense, or parting ways when the Page of Cups left the ship, you know, and we had both the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups in the first part, but now they were heading another direction. It's like what you are left with is the material abundance, right? The financial abundance, the money, the company, the business, the house, whatever it is, the bank account filled with, you know, dollars and whatever. So, but alone, right? And it keeps on growing. So in a sense, you achieve your goal, right? If your goal was, you know, what was exciting to you was achieving something real, something, you know, fortune, or, you know, your financial independence, it's like, here it is, but you have to do it on your own. It's like, it's not, there's nobody there really, you know, and even the ones in your crew, they're not coming here. It's like, they're not showing up. And that is the interesting thing, because I feel like, you know, they make a very dim appearance here at the end, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor, right, I feel like, you know, I mean, your independence, your stability, your financial security, the abundant lifestyle that you were searching for, the possibility to become rich, right? Your investments, your work, it's like a real life mundane kind of goals, right? It's like you meet them, you reach them on your own, right? It's like you were the captain of that ship, and so you knew exactly what you were running after, right? It's like you wanted to achieve this, you wanted to reach this point of incredible abundance. But not only you do so, it's like you exceed your own expectations, you exceed your own possibilities to dream of, you know, if you were aiming for this and you go from the Nine of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles and then to the Emperor, it's like all of this is talking about like you are climbing your way up this ladder of stability and incredible wealth, I want to say, but you're there on your own, right? It's like, this is a singlehood card. This is one individual, and this is another individual. And all of these three, actually all of these 4 cards are you, Scorpio. These are all talking about the steps that you had to take on your own, right? Perhaps in a very self-oriented kind of way, right? Even though if this, you know, because you replaced the Two of Cups by this Two of Pentacles, right? Your own footsteps, your own footprints. It's like you knew you had to left your mark on the world, perhaps, but doing so in a way that is incredibly rewarding, I want to say. It's like going this way, choosing what you have chosen to leave somebody behind, or not leave somebody behind, but accept that they didn't want the same thing as you because you were driven by this, right? Maybe your financial independence, and you do achieve it, but you surpass that. It's like you are this overachiever perhaps, right? It's like you are maybe you are surprised that not only you conquered what you wanted in the first place, but you're earning more money than you thought was possible, or you are being respected in your field, and it's like you gain this authority not only about what you know and your experience, but also what you have built for yourself that seems incredibly solid and stable, but also very credible. Is that the word? It's like there is a lot of credibility here, right? It's like you have earned that on your own, right? You have done everything you had to do on your own to earn this incredibly admirable place, right? An honorable and respectable place. But you achieve this, top of your segment, top of your the job chain, or the CEO chair, and or you're opening your own business, and it seems like now you have achieved everything, more than you were expecting, more than you dreamt of, right? But you're there alone. And because you're ending with the 10 of Swords, I feel like this is going back again to the 6 of Swords and also to the 7 of Swords, to be honest. It's almost like when you get to this highest point, right? When you are in a place where you never imagined that you could get so far, or you get so high, right? It's like you were able to conquer more, right? Let's just say like that. With the 10 of Swords, it's like there is this constant thought, or maybe this constant worry that maybe you left behind people that helped you to get there, or maybe people left you, right? Maybe you were feeling like you I don't know, were cheated on, or was mistreated or misunderstood, right? Perhaps because you were so emphatic following your goals, and others, especially this Page of Cups, was just not engaged in the same way that you, so they had to leave the crew, they had to leave the group. Or maybe they just they just didn't want to be led by you, or it was getting in the way of the relationship perhaps. These are all possibilities, right? But I want to say that the 10 of Swords here is like something that you carry alongside all of your professional, perhaps career-oriented achievements, right? It's like you remember every single one of those people who were part of this journey for you to get there, but also it's like exactly what were the steps that only you could take, right? That no matter how much others were rowing with you to take this boat further, it's like at some point when you land where you want, it only depends on you to achieve more and more and more success, right? And so it's like this bittersweet feeling, right? Not only that we saw in the first part, from maybe the surprise of somebody that you cared and that you wanted to accompany you in this journey of yours, that they left, or they decided to leave because they were just heading in another direction. But here it's like the memory of those who are part of this journey, and those who left the journey and who are not with you when you are achieving so much, is bittersweet, Scorpio. And I'm so sorry to say that, because I feel like this is something that, because it's interesting, because the bottom of the deck, which would possibly explain to me a little bit more of maybe how to deal with this, how to cope with this, how to overcome this. It's another harsh card, right? And it's the 5. So it's not only half of the 10, But it's like, you know, to me, the fives are this, it's like there is only place for one person, and this person is you, right? And maybe you weren't aware that your own drive, your own passion to accomplish this was pushing people away, maybe, right? Or at least you weren't giving enough attention to other people that were there in the same group as you, just because you had this very, it's like you had this very firm mindset that this was something that you were going to achieve, no matter who was there beside you or not, even though your desire was that somebody could fulfill it, right? Even if it was, you know, not a person per se, but at least the knowing that your accomplishment would keep you company, right? But I feel like when you get to this point, it's like you see that what accompanies you besides all of your success, right? And all of your money and all of your prizes and, you know, awards and recognition and whatever, or, you know, your material goods, your whatever it is, right? You see the point. It's like this is also accompanying you. And maybe it's because you didn't give space for others to be included, or maybe to change a little bit your goal. It's like you weren't going to give up on your goal so that others could be included, in a sense. So it's something that you'll have to learn to live with, I want to say. And I know this is not the best way to end a reading, but it's what I'm seeing here for you, Scorpio. It is bittersweet, but I feel like, you know, here with the Emperor, you really do accomplish like great things, right? Maybe just in this material sense nonetheless, but you achieve what you were passionate about, right? So that is good news in a sense, right? So let's see what the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you. Okay, so we have Neptune. So it's going back again to this image of the ship, right, out at the ocean. Because Neptune is like this god of the ocean, god of the open seas, god of the deep seas, right? Meaning, you know, in a metaphorically image, it's like God or king of our own subconscious, our own deep emotions that sometimes are, you know, this open, wide, unknown ocean. So I feel like it's almost like for you, Scorpio, this is explaining to me that maybe it's like you were in an unconscious battle with yourself. It's almost like setting out on this incredible journey to accomplish something that was just this, it was kind of an excuse, or it was like this goal so that you could go out to the sea, right? This is what the Neptune is talking about. It's like the ultimate accomplishment, apart from all of the wealth, all of the achievement, all of the success, all of the money, all of the praise, everything that you do accomplish, right? And maybe you think that is exactly what you were after. What this Neptune is talking about is that really what you were learning, or what you were fighting against, or you were testing yourself, if you to see if you could accomplish that, overcome that sort of challenge, is to just it's like face the deep waters, face the open sea, right? Face something that it's like the moment that you decided to go on this journey was sparked by this subconscious decision to navigate through turbulent waters, or maybe waters that you didn't know that you could overcome them, and including this situation, this bittersweet situation where maybe you were left behind by somebody, or even some people from this crew. And I want to say, it's like, yes, there is a lot of bittersweetness here in your reading, including here with Neptune, because at the same time that Neptune brings this more expensive spiritual perspective, it also, specifically because of this image of the ship, it is bringing to me this the bravery in you to face your own fears, face your own subconscious patterns, right? Your own it's like things that were buried under all of this water, right? That you didn't know existed until you went on this journey and you went through these experiences. Even though there is a lot that you are accomplishing in this mundane 3D realm, and there is a lot that is accompanying you in a more subtle kind of way, right? It's like the memory that you're keeping, or the remembrance that you're going to take with you from all of the accomplishments that now you carry. It's like it's part of delving into your subconscious mind, delving into patterns in your mind, right, that are bittersweet, I want to say, right? They're not always pleasant or comfortable. It's like really navigating through an open sea, right? And this is what you're doing. So I feel like, after all, even though we have a lot of bittersweetness, as I said, I feel like you do accomplish a lot, things that you really were aiming to accomplish, but also it's like your subconscious target is also activated, right? Is also, even through the bitter parts of it, right? It's like if we were to put the sweet part in the category of your wealth, your successes, right? And if we were to put the bitter part in this 10 of Swords, but also in maybe the people that left you, through this journey, it's like you have both, right? You have faced both. So yeah, I want to actually congratulate you, Scorpio, because I feel like it's incredibly strong of you, right, to do so, and to keep following what you thought was right for you. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to you, Scorpio. If this resonated, thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.